Americans only get half of the recommended amount of fiber.
No, I didn't. All right. So this is the How Do You Live Life Well podcast. I am JM.
And I'm Jill.
All right, Jill. So this is your first time on our podcast. So could you introduce yourself? Tell us what you do for Cone Health.
Sure. So I'm one of the three health and fitness specialists in the LiveLifeWell program, which is the employee wellness program here. And I wear many hats, so I probably won't go into everything I do, but I do staff the medical fitness center at one of our hospitals. I do some personal training for employees, and I do a couple of other programming aspects that we have in the department, like diabetes prevention programming, things like that. So a little kind of have my hands in a few different things, but everything benefits employees and their overall wellness.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, Jill helps me out with my pre-diabetes classes. So I'm looking forward to this podcast. So today we're actually here to talk about the month of February is American Heart Month. And so we're here to talk about how can you live life well and what can you do for your heart, all right? And so according to the CDC, heart disease is the number one cause of death in the United States. And so that's really big. So Jill, tell us 5 ways that we can do something great for our hearts today.
Sure. It was hard to think of just 5 things because there's so many. But I'm going to share my 5 favorite things that I talk to people about. Number 1 is being active. Yes. We all kind of know that one already. Number 2 is just eating healthier, staying away from processed sugars and salt, eating as many nutrient-dense foods as you can. Increasing your fiber intake. We all kind of know about that too. Number 3, don't smoke. Number 4, keeping your blood pressure and cholesterol monitored and controlled. So just being aware of what those numbers are, making sure they're not, too high and you're not aware of it. And obviously keeping them under control. And then number 5 is kind of a big one lately, and that's managing stress.
Oh, yes. I need a little bit of that.
I think everybody does.
All right. So the first one you said, being more physically active. What are some exercises we can do to get our heart rate up?
I think everyone's favorite is walking. I mean, it's free. It's something you can do anywhere, anytime. All you need is a good pair of shoes. I think it's important to find something you enjoy too, because if you hate it, you're probably not going to do it.
Yeah.
The recommendation really is that 150 minutes of activity a week, and that's linked to improving your chance of not developing heart disease, just being healthier overall. So I think everything we can do to move more is going to add up. So we just want to aim for that 150 minutes a week, doing whatever we enjoy. If you don't have a lot of time, you can always do short bursts of exercises, bringing the intensity up a little bit. And there's a lot of evidence that actually makes an impact on health and your metabolism too.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for that, Jill. Yeah. So the other thing I heard you say was to limit sugar, salt, incorporate more fiber and more nutrient dense foods. Why is that?
Yeah, so there's a lot of research, and I'm going to try to avoid going too and vomiting too much information on people, but you can always find reputable research studies online if you want more information. But salt, just overall, to keep it simple, it does cause fluid retention. And the fluid retention can increase your blood pressure.
Right.
It's that simple. So many of us who, I don't have high blood pressure, but a lot of people who do, their doctors just tell them to avoid salt. And it's a direct relation to a higher blood pressure. As far as processed sugar goes, that has been linked to higher inflammation. It actually is linked to an inflammatory marker when you get your blood drawn. And if you have too much sugar, that marker has actually gone up. And inflammation can cause the buildup of plaque in your system, can cause things like diabetes, which are linked to heart disease. It can also increase risk of stroke. So we want to keep that inflammation down. Another benefit of avoiding sugar is with inflammation, a lot of people have arthritis. So when they find that when they cut the sugar out, their arthritis gets better, or at least the pain from it gets better. Their inflammation comes down.
That's remarkable. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything you can do to reduce that inflammation is going to help prevent heart disease.
Yeah. And so I think you mentioned this, but I can't remember, but what are the benefits of not smoking as far as like having a healthy heart? What are the benefits?
Well, kind of as you said in the beginning, that heart disease is the number one death.
Yeah.
Number one cause of death here in America. Believe it or not, smoking causes 1 out of 5 of those deaths is directly related to smoking. And a couple interesting facts about smoking. I mean, everybody knows not to smoke. Everybody knows it's bad for them, but not everybody knows exactly what happens when you smoke. But just think about 20% of deaths in America are linked directly to smoking.
Yeah.
That's a big number. So that's not a big enough reason not to smoke. But something else really interesting about cigarettes is when they're made, they have 600 ingredients in them. When a cigarette is burned, did you already know this? When a cigarette is burned, it creates 7,000 chemicals when a cigarette is burned. 7,000 chemicals. That's
actually one thing that we teach in a tobacco cessation program that we have. It's amazing to see all of those names listed out, all the chemicals names listed out. You're like, wow.
Yeah.
I would have never known before. It's crazy.
No, most people I don't think know that. And then the secondhand smoke too is an issue. Don't forget that.
Exactly. And then the nicotine in the cigarettes is actually a stimulant and can increase your heart rate as well. So yeah, awesome stuff.
Anything we can do. And the fiber too. I forgot to tell you about the fiber. Did you know that most Americans only get half of the recommended amount of fiber?
No, I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that.
That's another interesting
Can you go into how can we get more fiber? What are some things we can do to eat more fiber?
So this is all just based on research that I've seen. The best source of fiber that's linked to preventing heart disease is found in whole grains.
Yes.
There's definitely some in fruits and vegetables and stuff like that, but the type of fiber that is in the whole grains has been linked to reducing LDL cholesterol, body weight reduction, blood pressure control. It can increase your insulin resistance, so it can help prevent diabetes. Sources coming from food are great. Whole grains even more so than fruits and vegetables, just based on research, although those have great fiber in them too. And then some people have to supplement with fiber just depending on what their diets are.
Right, definitely. And when we say whole grains, what we're talking about exactly is in a grain, if you actually picture the grain, there's 3 parts to it. And if you take 1 or 2 of those parts away, it becomes a refined grain. And that basically takes most of the nutrient away. The most nutrients in the grain is like that first layer of it. So that's what we mean by whole grain. When you get that entire grain, you're getting the most nutrients in there. All right. Awesome. And so I know you mentioned blood pressure a few times. So what are some ways that we can actually manage our blood pressure as well as our cholesterol?
So, of course, you want to go to the doctor regularly, get your checkup, have your blood pressure checked. Here at the Medical Fitness Center that we staff, we do manual blood pressure checks for most of our cardiac rehab people. You want to have it monitored. You want to make sure you're eating a diet that's high in nutrient-dense foods, and of course, avoid that salt. I'd say the main thing is just make sure that you're going to the doctor and getting your cholesterol checked, getting your blood pressure checked, make sure they're where they're supposed to be. And there's several ways that you can get those both under control and also prevent them from being elevated through diet and exercise.
Exactly. All right. Thank you for that, Jill. So we went over 5 things, and I guess briefly we can go over those 5 things one more time for me, Jill, please.
Sure. So number one, being active. It doesn't have to be going to the gym and sweating it out. You don't have to wear spandex. You can do whatever you want. Find something you enjoy doing. Just move more. Aim for that 150 minutes a week. Just aim for that number. Number two, eating healthier. Stay away from the processed sugars. Try to stay away from the salt. Eat nutrient dense foods high in vitamins and minerals. Make sure your body's getting everything it needs. Increase your fiber intake. Number three, don't smoke. Number four, keep your blood pressure and your cholesterol monitored and controlled. And number five, manage stress.
Manage stress. All right. That number 5, manage stress. How can we do that? What can we do to manage our stress?
Yeah, it's tough. A lot of people don't even realize how stressed they are until, sometimes they just go down, they get sick or something happens and they're losing their appetite, things like that. But getting enough sleep's really important. If possible, you need to aim for that 7 to 9 hours a night. Find ways to cope. Whether it be meditation has become, I know, just a buzzword, but if you can learn about that, the mindfulness, the meditation, just taking that few minutes to take those deep breaths, find somebody you trust to talk to. That helps a lot. Make sure you have fun. A lot of people get so involved in work, got to solve all these problems that they forget to play and laugh and have a good time. Find something that makes you laugh. Like, sometimes I even will do the Snapchat filters with my kids, and we laugh so hard. And laughter, it's always been heard, laughter is the best medicine. It really is. Find things that make you laugh. Make sure you're moving, getting that exercise, eating better helps stress. Just kind of everything as a big picture.
I have to ask, what's your favorite filter on Snapchat to just laugh at? Mine is the baby one. You know what I'm talking about with the...
I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't really laugh at that one. I laugh at my 13-year-old and I send them back and forth, and there's just parts I'm just like crying because he does the videos where he talks and he records it. And he'll just say the perfect things that go along with the filter. It's hilarious. But just the facial distortion ones are probably my favorite.
Awesome. All right, so we're getting to the end of the episode, Jill. This is the part that's a little bit more fun. All right, you ready?
You look pretty serious.
All right, so this segment is called Blitz. These are our Blitz questions. All right, so first one, what is your favorite food?
Pizza.
All right, what kind?
Pepperoni pizza.
Pepperoni pizza. Oh, yes.
What's that for your salt? I don't eat it a lot, you guys.
Disclaimer. Full disclaimer.
Moderation.
All right, so what's your favorite drink?
Coffee. I love coffee. I love the taste of it. I don't drink tons of it. I just drink it in the morning, but I really love it.
Do you drink it just straight black, or you put a little bit extra in it?
I put believe it or not, I put a protein creamer in it.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's good. I'm addicted. It's really good.
You have to send me that. Whatever the name of it is, send that to me. I'm interested.
I will.
All right. So the last question, what is one thing people do not know about you? Or most people don't know?
Most people. Well, I find it pretty interesting. My dad was an immigrant. And he came here from Portugal when he was 10. And what's interesting about that is until he was 10, he actually lived in kind of like a hut with a dirt floor nothing but a fireplace.
Wow.
So they would catch their own food. They didn't have any water. They would grow or catch their own food. So when I grew up, I kind of, if I needed a new pair of shoes or something, I always had to hear about that. So It kind of really puts things into perspective for you, though, when you have a
Yeah,
parent that kind of spent so many years growing up like that. It's just part of my heritage. A lot of people don't know.
yeah. Awesome, awesome. And
Yeah,
that gives you, I think it builds good character. I think so. Like,
yeah,
having parents that, had to go through a few hard times, I think it builds character for the kids as well. So
yeah,
awesome. Awesome to know. All right.
yeah.
All right. So this is the end of our third episode. Um, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and also you can leave a comment for us. And don't forget to rate as well. All right. Stay tuned for our next one. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.